Hello everyone and welcome back to the Esports Arena Hearthstone Invitational. I am Brian Kibler and I am joined by Eloise for this next match.
Hello, I'm Magic Amy.
So we will be seeing Reynad and Tides of Time going to battle. This is one of the final matches of the day. We're going to be playing a single elimination bracket tomorrow, top 8, with the top 2 finishers from each of the groups going on to battle for their share of $25,000. So pretty exciting.
So many money.
And we would like to thank our sponsors who made this possible. Of course, Esports Arena, the host venue for the event, as well as CyberPower PC and Soylent, who have helped make this event possible. We're actually about to jump into the game, so let's not waste any time, and we will see Reynad versus Tides of Time.
The light shall bring victory.
Dragon first.
So we actually have not seen either of these players on stage yet this event, and it looks that Reynad is playing a lineup of Warlock, Priest, and Warrior, while Tides is playing Warrior, Paladin, and Hunter. What do you think about these lineups here?
I discussed with Reynad before, and he says that tournaments is kind of boring. Yeah, I'm going to bring some fun deck, and so he brings some fun decks. Well, we will see what kind of warrior he's bringing.
Well, I think Dragon Priest is pretty fun. It's got dragons in it, so you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of my thing here.
Okay, where is the dragon?
Yeah, he's got no dragons actually. He's theoretically a Dragon Priest deck. Got a Worm Rest Agent, but no actual dragon here.
Literally a dragon first. Okay.
Yeah, maybe someday he'll be a Dragon Priest deck, but for now he's a Dragonless Priest deck, and
Yeah.
that's a pretty bad draw for Reynad as well. Shadowward Pain or Shadowward Death, the second copy. This is a card that's very unlikely to be super powerful in this matchup. We do see that Tides has a pretty aggressive hand. He could potentially even be playing the versions of Mid-Range Hunter that maybe not even have High Mage, though the Houndmaster generally is pretty indicative of a more traditional style of mid-range
Yeah,
deck.
very interesting. Two Houndmaster with the charge minion. What is it? Argent Horse Rider.
Yeah, the Argent Horse Rider, who, despite riding a horse, is not actually able to be pumped by Houndmaster, but the dude itself is apparently what the card is.
It's okay. This hand is good enough. He can play on curve the next few turns.
And Reynad has the Shadowward Pain to take out the pumped up creeper, and then is able to kill one of the minions with his kind of pathetic Worm Rest Agent. No dragon around.
Yeah.
But Tides is totally on curve here. He's oof.
Wow, this is probably the best hand we can see from a Dragon Priest, right?
I think this is actually Reynad would have you believe this is the hand he gets every game, where he actually can't do anything with any of his powerful cards.
He likes to open with Priest first, but he always face Handlock today.
Ooh.
Yeah, and every time he faced that, and he will say, "Oh, I lost."
That's kind of what happens whenever you play
This game
Priest against Handlock.
sucks, or, you know. Oops.
But this is actually a pretty good minion for Reynad to possibly take with the Cabal Shadow Priest. He's able to actually use the Cabal to take, I imagine, the Divine Shielded minion.
Yeah.
So yeah, Divine Shield charge. You can actually use that immediately to take out one of Tide's minions. So yeah, this game was totally one-sided, but suddenly it's actually much more reasonably winnable for Reynad.
Do you think he will go Smork?
I mean, I think that he'll Smork with at least several of them. He does have that quick shot in hand, so he is. Yeah, it looks like he's actually just going all to the face. He's putting Reynad down to just 5 health. Which, with the Leper Gnome in play, means that Quick Shot plus Hero Power, even if Reynad does heal himself, is enough to kill him.
Yeah, even if he play Holy Nova plus Healing, it's still lethal.
So, generally speaking, Dragon Priest decks don't have very much burst heal. They don't typically play things like Healbot, and things like Flash Heal, and Tides knows that and puts Reynad in the squeeze here.
Yeah.
The Quick Shot and the Death Rattle from Leper Gnome plus Hero Power, and Tides of Time is up a quick game in this match.
But it's not a Dragon Priest's fault. Dragon Priest is a pretty good deck, but Reynad is just not too good at it.
I mean, if you don't believe in the dragons don't come to you. And that was the problem there. If Reynad had a dragon, his deck was great, his hand was great. But he never had a dragon. And you need to give yourself to the dragons. You can't be complaining about how bad things are. Dragons appreciate positivity.
Oh, I see.
That's why me and the dragons get along so well.
I see. Kepler, for teaching me how to play with Dragon deck.
All right, so now we see we're going to the next game already, so moving pretty quickly. Tides is playing his Paladin deck while Reynad is sticking with Priest.
Ooh, this Paladin hand.
So Tides is a hand that doesn't really get off the ground particularly quickly. Repentance is actually pretty reasonable even against a Northshire Cleric, because if it weren't for the Repentance, that Cleric would actually be able to threaten a lot of Tides minions over the course of the next few turns.
How do you think of Reynad's hand this time?
Reynad's hand this game is also pretty terrible. Oh, it just got a lot better.
Yeah.
And that Northshire Cleric, despite only having 1 health now, is actually a pretty reasonable threat, because it will allow Reynad to potentially gain some additional resources from healing his Wormrust agent, which is exactly what he wants to do anyway. Oof. Ooh. And that's another excellent card.
And
he can start chipping away at those minions.
Reynad can one out Holy Nova next turn, which is very good.
See, you're learning Dragon Priest already.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kepler. Yes.
So Tides with, Consecration. That's actually excellent from Tides now.
Yeah.
1 good draw deserves another. Tides picks up the Consecration that actually allows him to wipe Reynad's board right back.
Everyone's playing top deck.
Name of the game.
Yeah.
But Reynad did just get a good burst of additional resources from his heal, thanks to the 2 Northshire Clerics. So he has a fistful of cards here, and he has a lot of options.
Yeah, and his curve is pretty good.
He actually has a pair of Shadowward Pains, which are pretty good, but not really great against what Tides actually has in his hand. Shadowward Death would be a lot better against these potential mysterious challengers coming out in a couple of turns.
Yeah, Shadow War Pen is very good on Shell Minibot or Knife Juggler, that kind of stuff.
Not so good against the Muster for Battle minions, and also not so good against Haunted Creeper. But
yes.
Here we see that briefly looked like he was attacking the Azure Drake. Oh, he is.
What do you think about this?
I'm wondering what his plan is here. I guess he's trying to set up so Reynad can't attack with the Azure Drake without triggering the Noble Sacrifice and then having his Azure Drake die. He'd have to commit mana to healing the Azure Drake before he could attack with it. I kind of like that play.
So that he cannot play very strong minion this turn. So Tides can play the Mysterious Challenger next turn.
Yeah, but this does end up going pretty well for Reynad regardless. He does have the Powered Shield, and then he's able to play the Twilight Guardian. So he's able to develop his board pretty significantly regardless.
Yeah.
And I like this choice not to attack with his Azure Drake before Tides turn 6. This is a little bit of a subtle thing, but because he's going into Tides turn 6, Tides has had a number of cards in his hand for a while, didn't do much that was very powerful the last few turns. That really signals that he has Mysterious Challenger. And if he did attack with his Azure Drake, all he would do would be to give his opponent another Noble Sacrifice when the Mysterious Challenger actually came into play. So Avenge hits. All right, it hits the Recruit here. But Reynad does have this Light Bomb, which is potentially pretty effective here. He could clear the Spider and then Light Bomb away the entire board, leaving him with just the Twilight Guardian against a Light's Justice and a single Secret. Unfortunately for Reynad, Tides does have a pretty powerful follow-up with a second Challenger. Though it's not even clear that it's necessarily the best play.
It's not a very big deal now. They played some secrets.
It's true. The Challenger is much less powerful on this turn than it would be before. And Reynad does have a really powerful hand regardless. He has both a lot of life left as well as even the Corruptor and Chillmaw in his hand that can really deal with most anything that Tides can actually generate.
And what he needs now is Shadow War Death, right?
Yeah, and this is why we were talking about earlier how the Shadow Word Pain, not really all that exciting for Reynad, but Shadow Word Death would be great. And here, Holy Nova wipes out the board and leaves Reynad with a Wormrust agent against nothing, but that nothing turns very quickly into Mysterious Challenger.
Actually, TidesofTime is doing very good.
Yeah, those have been a couple of pretty powerful draws here. The fact that he picked up both True Silver Champion and Blessing of Kings gives him cards that allow him to impact the board immediately. They actually allow him to play things other than just minions. If he picked up minions the past couple of turns, those would be pretty low impact. We also know that Tides, or rather Reynad, has a handful of removal spells that could very easily deal with those.
But we all know that nowadays a lot of Secret Paladin running with Tyrion and Dr. Boom too.
It's true. We actually have not seen either of these players on stage just yet, so I don't know, maybe you do, whether Tides is playing a list that does have Divine Favor, for instance.
Divine Favor.
Because Divine Favor here would be pretty powerful. Reynad does have a handful of cards. There's Tyrion. So, oof.
And one Light Bomb is gone.
Yeah, Light Bomb is gone, and it's actually not clear that Tyrion is even the best play here, though. The True Silver Champion, I actually kind of like True Silver Champion to...
And Blessing of King.
Yeah, I think that is a play that allows Tides to eliminate a lot of what's on the board, and he does have, he still has those 3 secrets, so he has, let's check what they are. He has Redemption, Noble Sacrifice, and Avenge. So he's keeping Reynad from being able to profitably interact with his board through combat pretty well.
Yeah, he probably want to save the Repentance for Tyrion. That might be.
Move quickly.
Yes, if he gets the Blessing of Kings here, he's able to attack this, use the weapon to clear this, and then just go face and develop that True Silver Champion. I imagine he's going to do that.
Does he want to make
Okay. So now...
Yeah, this board is pretty good after the Holy Nova.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Tides have a pretty powerful comeback. He had his board totally wiped just a couple turns ago, but Mysterious Challenger really got him right back into it. The follow-up with the Blessing of Kings to allow him to easily actually break through that buffed-up Wormrest agent was a big deal as well.
Even if we not clear the board this turn, there's Tyrion incoming.
Yeah, this is one of the really powerful things about the Secret Paladin deck. Even if you are able to deal with its early game, even if you are able to deal with Mysterious Challenger, it still gets to play cards like Dr. Boom, like Tyrion. We saw a lot of the really low curve Secret Paladin decks early on, sort of after the Grand Tournament came out, and those have largely evolved into these more sort of mid-range hybrid style decks. They can even still play cards like Divine Favor to give them a really powerful late game punch against control decks.
Yeah, some Paladin run with one Divine Favor too.
All right, Reynad is in the tank here, comes out with Azure Drake.
He's very confident on drawing a Shadow or Death, I think.
I think he's really looking for that death.
Yeah.
He's already played Light Bomb, and
he wants to trigger that. What do you think about this?
It's interesting because he's already used all of his resources for the turn, so now that's gonna put him in a situation. I think he's just dead. There's 13, 14. He's not quite dead. 13, 14, 15. Oh, he actually is exactly lethal, I think, right? It's 10, 16, 17, 18, 19. No, yeah, with the True Silver, it's definitely lethal. And it was actually already lethal even without that. That's a very strange attack. Even without the True Silver Champion, that was, with the Light's Justice, had 20 damage in play because of that attack, giving the Redemption on the Noble Sacrifice and Avenge trigger.
Maybe he wants to see the secret?
Could have been something else. Maybe it was eye for an eye.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so Tides of Time is now up to a quick 2-0 lead against Reynad. What do you think about that?
Reynad will be said, it's okay. This game is boring.
Do you think Reynad really wants to win this particular match? I know that he and Tides used to be teammates.
I think he's playing fun deck. Yeah, we trust him. He's playing fun deck. He's having fun.
I mean, I know that dragons are fun.
He's very happy about himself.
He's very happy about himself. He and I have that alike. We both are very happy about ourselves. But here, Reynad does pick up a Shadow or Death in the match against the Warrior deck of Tides. And Tides appears to be playing Control Warrior rather than Patron. So we've seen Warrior a lot in this tournament, and it's actually been a pretty even split between Control Warrior and Patron Warrior.
Yeah, some people think that Control Warrior is like tier 2 deck, but I think it's really strong.
I think that Control Warrior is pretty powerful when people are specifically targeting Patron as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if people are playing decks like, say, Handlock. Handlock is pretty. Do you think that Control Warrior or Handlock is a better matchup compared to Patron? Would you rather be playing Control Warrior or Patron Warrior against a Handlock deck?
I think control warrior is pretty good, but it most depends on how you construct it.
Of course.
Yeah, some control warrior is running more like fatigue warrior, and that is not that good.
All right.
Well, it's very good.
I haven't really seen many fatigue warrior decks out there, but all right. So Tides has a board clear with a slam, along with his death spite, leaving Reynad with very little. And this is actually, I actually think that the control warrior is a tougher matchup for Dragon Priest than Patron Warrior is. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think that Control Warrior is really well set up to deal with just minions. You know, that's exactly how the Dragon Priest deck operates. It plays a minion and doesn't really do much else. It just the whole goal of the deck is to incrementally gain advantage through having oversized minions. And Control Warrior with cards like Execute, with cards like Shield Slam, cards like Brawl, is able to very readily handle that style of play.
I think Priest is a kind of deck that is very strong on early game and mid game, and Control Warrior is very good at late game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can be in a hugely advantaged position on various axes of the game, whether it's resources, board, whatever else, and just totally run out of gas against Control Warrior.
Oh, Reynad used his Shadow War Death. What do you think about this?
I mean, Shadow War Death is a very important card in this matchup. There's a lot of big threats that you really want to be able to remove with Death. But I mean, looking at Reynad's hand, he doesn't have that many options. He can't just let that sit there and play. And here he actually has a great play. He's able to Shrinkmeister Cabal, which I imagine he's going to do on this Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, and next turn he can play Ysera, which is pretty good.
I would describe Ysera as pretty good.
Yeah, some people want to save this combo for Ysera, but I think Reynad must go for it.
Ooh, and it looks like we're going to see Execute coming from Tides, which does put him in a spot where he doesn't have a great answer to Ysera right away.
Well, it's okay. I think he's got. He's thinking that he's got Sylvanas, he's got BJH, so it's okay to use one Execute. It's
true. He's able to still have a very strong tempo play this turn with the Dr. Boom, and Reynad is actually also just under reasonable pressure. He just goes with the Light Bomb. So Light Bomb clears everything but the slime, which sadly does die. But now Tides, he's able to, just Alex Straws of the face.
Yeah.
He doesn't have Grom here, so he's not really threatening the one-turn kill or anything like that. But this is very close to lethal for Tides of Time. He has 8 damage. He's actually 1 damage off lethal with Fireworks and Bash.
I have no time for games.
Both of the players play very fast.
Yeah, they're just sort of going at it.
Yeah.
And yes, we see War Axe and Sylvanas come down. We see Alex Strauss just go face, and this is a pretty precarious situation. That Ysera is obviously very powerful, but it's facing down a really imposing board, and we see Valens. Are we gonna see double Valens here?
Sylvanas is very annoying stuff, both for Control Warrior and for Patron.
This is going to be gross. This is going to be totally gross. Sylvanas can attack into. Oh, actually, we're just going to see.
Oh, he can.
Yeah, we're actually just going to see. I think lethal here with the double bash.
Missed. Yeah.
Bash. When is the last time you get burned out by a Control Warrior deck?
Bash.
And yeah, Reynad gets bashed 3 games to 0 by Tides of Time. That is
pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a quick match. We've had quite a few of those quick matches today, but very few of them actually gone 3 straight games. We just saw Control Warrior win just that fast.
And I'm sure